Good day everyone, this is Amira Akil Magid, your reporter in ELE 137, Contemporary Popular and Emergent Literature. The topic that I will going to discuss today is the continuation of Mr. Mentang's report. That is under the lesson 3, which is Emerging Literature. In this video presentation, we are going to focus only on chick literature or chick lit, illustrated novel, and graphic novel. But before we proceed to our main discussion, let us all be guided by the learning outcomes. At the end of this lesson, you students can define chick lit or chick literature, illustrated, and graphic novel. Differentiate chick literature or chick lit, illustrated, and graphic novel, and choose one among emerging genres in literature and then create your own piece. Now let's define what is chick lit or chick literature. Accordingly, a chick literature is a type of popular fiction targets younger women. It is a genre of literature that focuses on a female protagonist, and it is often addresses issues of modern womanhood, such as from romantic relationship to female friendship to matters in the workplace in numerous and light-hearted ways. In other words, this kind of literature are usually targeted at a younger women and are described as a popular fiction. In chick literature, there are certain elements. All chick features a woman in her 20s or 30s as a protagonist. The novels are mostly set in an urban environment, most notably New York or London. And then the protagonists are a career women, and the protagonists are often single, although they usually all ended up with someone. Okay, now let's proceed to illustrated novel. When we say illustrated novels, it refers to an extended narrative with multiple images that together with the text produce meaning. Illustrated novels is where about half of the story is presented through pictures and illustrations. To make it simple, illustrated novel, generally 50% of the narrative is presented without words, and then the reader must interpret the image or images in order to comprehend the complete story. But then, some illustrated novels may contain no text at all. Now let's proceed to the elements of illustrated novel. We have the panel, frame, gutter, bleed, caption, speech balloon, external dialogue, internal dialogue, special effect lettering, closure, long shoot, extreme long shoot, close up, extreme close up, splash page, splash panel, palette, emanata, spread, inset, speed lines, reverse, signs, and voice over. The first elements of illustrated novel is what we call panel. Panel is a distinct segment of a comic containing images and text. Just take a look at this photo. The panels is a square or rectangles that contains a single scene. Next we have frame. Frame is the lines and borders about contains the panel. This is what frame looks like. We have also the gutter, which is the space between framed panels. In this picture, the space between framed panels is referred to as a gutter. Next we have bleed. Bleed is an image that extended to and or beyond the edge of page. So this is the example of bleed. These images cover both pages, and this is a technique often used in graphic novel. However, it is not seen in a per se Metropolis. Next we have captions. Captions is a boxes containing a variety of text elements such as settings and descriptions. Just take a look at this picture. So this is what caption looks like. Next we have speech balloon, which is enclosed dialogue that comes from a specific speaker's mouth and can vary in size, shape, and layout. In speech balloon, we have here the external dialogue and internal dialogue. When we say external dialogue, it is a dialogue between two or more characters. In contrast, internal dialogue, it is a thought enclosed by a balloon that has a series of dots or bubbles leading up to it. Next, we have the special effect lettering. It is the lettering that draws attention to a text. It is often highlights onomatopoeia and impact words such as wow, bang, and etc. Here is an example of special effect lettering. Next, we have closure. Closure is the reader's completion of meaning between panels. Next, we have long shot. Long shot is an images that show all object fully from top to bottom. We have also the extreme long shot. It is an images that shows image or characters in a really small scale, and then we have here the close up, which is an image shown in a large view. We also have extreme close up. It is an image shown in a very large view. Then we have splash page. It is a panel that takes up the whole page of the comic. Next, we have the splash panel. When we say splash panel, it is a panel that takes up the space of several panels in a comic. And then next, we have the palette. Palette pertains to the colors we use in a comic. And then we have the emanata. It is a text or icons that represent what is going in the character's head. Here are some examples of emanata. Next, we have spread. Spread is the two facing pages in a printed book. Next is inset. It is a panel contained within a larger panel. Then we have the speed lines. It is the lines that represent motion. Next is reverse. It is the images in the opposite position from the previous panel. Next to that is the signs. It is the text labels written on objects in comics. And then lastly, we have the voiceover. It is a narratory block in which a narrator or character shares special information with the reader. Now let's proceed to the graphic novel. When we say graphic novel, it is the use of a sequence of illustration to tell a story. They use the same text bubble and image panel format that we find in comics, but unlike comics, which are serialized, graphic novels are published in a book format and usually tell a standalone and complete story. In other words, graphic novel has similar to a comic books because they use sequential art to tell a story. Graphic novels rightfully have a place alongside novels, pictures books, and audiobooks as they offer a huge range of reading experiences. Their rich and complex text also requires readers to examine, decode, and combine multiple elements to acquire meaning. Every graphic novels have these elements such as linguistics, visuals, gestural, spatial, and symbolic. In summary, graphic novels are an excellent resource for use in school. They attract readers with their visuals and actually encourage reading because they don't seem as daunting as a whole book filled with words. They are generally fast paced, and the word to picture correlation provides an easy way for children to expand their vocabularies. And then the visual elements help early readers to decode text and derive meaning, whilst the relative speed and immediate enjoyment that the children received when reading this book also helps build reading confidence. So that would be all. Thank you for listening.